Hi, I'm Edwin Yuen, ESG Senior Analyst for Cloud Platform and Orchestration and DevOps. And these are my 2019 predictions. As we go into 2019, I think there are three key things that are going to emerge during this calendar year. The first is really the rise or the growth of different types of hybrid cloud. For a number of years, I've talked about the concept of a infrastructure up type hybrid cloud, where you're taking your existing infrastructure and going into the cloud, extending it into the cloud, which most companies are used to. But we've seen the rise of what we call the cloud down infrastructure cloud, or cloud down hybrid cloud. And the cloud down hybrid cloud is where you're focused on the applications and you really don't care as much about the infrastructure. You just want to deploy it across any usable infrastructure, and that could be a public cloud provider or local infrastructure. With the announcements of both Google's GKE on-prem and, probably most significantly, the Amazon Web Services Outposts offering, we've seen a rise in that cloud down, really cloud-oriented or public cloud on infrastructure type hybrid cloud. We're still seeing gains in that traditional infrastructure up hybrid cloud. But the question is, are we going to see a little bit more from the cloud down space? Before, it was really just things like Microsoft's Azure Stack. But now that we have both Google and Amazon in the race, how will Microsoft react to this? How will they try to extend their cloud down hybrid cloud, maybe enhance Azure Stack functionality, or come up with some new solutions in order to compete with Google and Amazon? The second thing we're starting to see is really the rise of more cloud management tools. And it seems like essentially any company that doesn't have a public cloud needs to get into this game. You have traditional leaders from the infrastructure side, so you can look at some of the tools that Microsoft has traditionally used, the VMware vRealize suite and other solutions. But we're really looking potentially at some of these new cloud down solutions, everything from people like Dynatrace or Datadog, all the way to companies such as Platform 9 that's kind of building a consistent management as a service platform in order to control a lot of different public clouds and on-premises infrastructure that's compatible with public clouds. The third area that we're looking at is the role of both containers and serverless. We've certainly seen the rise of containers. I talked about it at my KubeCon video. But next question is really about where do we see the additional work in serverless? Because we're seeing the rise of serverless and microservices, but we're also seeing things like Istio and the Knative solution based on Istio that are providing container-like capabilities into serverless and serverless-type capabilities into containers. So really, it's a question of where do we see those functions working? Do we see an extension of people really going into serverless computing? Or do we want to take the serverless paradigm, which is the lack of infrastructure set up and really the great compatibility for developers, and extending it across different platforms and different ideas? So three very interesting concepts: rise of different types of hybrid cloud, cloud management, and how containers and serverless are working together. Those are three very exciting things that we're going to have to keep an eye out for, and that I'll be reporting a lot more on in 2019.